Two-year-old trotting fillies on the track for the next division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial. Norman Woolworth inducted in the Harness Racing Hall of Fame 1982. We honor his memory here today. Very active in the sport of harness racing, of course. Purse of $87,000 here for the Bluegrass division. No changes. The one is Pub Crawl. Julie Miller trains. Andy Miller drives for the Andy Miller stable. Lewis Wildinger, Capel Singh, and the legendary Standardbred Farm. Number 2 is Iteration. Marcus Melander trains. Brian Sears drives for Courant Incorporated. 3 in Lindy's Dollywood. George Ducharme trains for the FTM Racing Stable. Scott Ziron. 4 is Flawless Country. Otis Fonstead, the trader driver, and the co-owner with the Wolfgang A stable. And Bjorn Narstrom. 5 Beltassima. Jan Janssen trains. Jacek Jingra drives for Jorgen Yahir Jr., Kendall Oak, and Kenneth Kellgren. 6 Savadir. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing stable. Knox Services. Jerry and Teresa Silva, Perdell and Libby, Weaver Bruce Shibby, Dave Miller drives. And the 7 is Easy Pass. Nifty Norman trains. Mark McDonald in the bike. For Melvin Hardman, Dave McDuffie, and Diamond Creek Racing. That is the field for the 5th race. No changes. They will go to the post for race 5 in just a few minutes.
On we roll through the Saturday Stakes here in Lexington, Kentucky at the Red Mile, this Bluegrass Series division for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. Gabe, before we talk about the fillies here, a couple of harness racing birthday shout-outs. Kurt Sugg up in Ohio, a couple guys out in California, owner Ron Wells and driver James Kennedy. And did you know that TVG, Ken Rudolph, today is his birthday, so happy birthday to those guys as well. We've had lots of good action so far to get the program running. Going to talk to Director of Operations and Publicity Director of the Hamiltonian Society, Moira Fanning, after this particular race. But good field here. A couple of different ways you can go. You've been on a roll. I think you've got 2 or 3 winners in a row. I just got my first one there with Julia C., and I'm going right back to Team Svanstead. They had such a good Grand Circuit meet here last year, and they're already off to a good start this week.
Yes, they are, and Flawless Country, you certainly have to give this filly a long look, again, due to the connections and this filly's ability. She had been defeating that You Ought to Dream. We saw her come out and race well earlier in the first division. She was a runner-up there, but still gave a very nice account of herself. So that should play into the hands here of Flawless Country as well. I'm going to go just a little different direction, Dave. I did use Flawless Country, the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion. In my business, I slotted her in the 3rd spot. But the 2 iteration, this is a full sister to the great Chimpanzee. And she was a winner in that Kentucky had a stake last time at Hoosier. The New York Sire Stakes Championship, you really have to watch that replay to appreciate it, Dave. You and I spoke about it on the pregame show. She made a break and start at the start. She lost 8 or 10 lengths, possibly more. She recovered somehow, some way to win. You just never see that happen over a half-mile track like Yonkers. So I thought that was a huge, huge mile. She was so handy. She was wrapped up there at Hoosier last Friday. So iteration, again, powerful pedigree. Filly that's racing very, very well here for Top Connections.
Daughter of Chapter 7, and she got a couple of weeks off after that miraculous recovery to ship all the way out to Indiana and cruise in a division of the Kentuckiana. Owned by Anderstrom's Courant Incorporated, she was an expensive yearling with that pedigree, too, $250,000 out of Harrisburg. We will see if you are right with number 2 iteration. You gave a little bit of love to one of the long shots in here, 20, now 18 to 1 on number 7 Easy Pass. And I see where you're coming with this filly, but she's going to have to find a way to get into the race.
That is a concern, but she does have some speed. If Mark McDonald opts to use it, we'll see. There's just so many good fillies inside of her. I wouldn't expect that she would leave here. I would hope that she'd likely just be looking to save some ground and maybe shake loose late for a piece here, Dave. She's been racing quite well. She's been doing just that. She's outraced her odds at her last couple of starts. She was a runner-up there, beating just a neck at a leg at the Kentucky Sire Stakes 2-back. And then last out behind Lady Chaos and Beautiful Game, I thought that was a very good 3rd-place finish. So I just think she's a sneaky type long shot that could work into the mix here. Good price right now. She's up there at nearly 20 to 1. I'm going to use Easy Pass here behind the favorite.
I'm going to use number one, Pub Crawl. The Team Orange Crush Share, Andy and Julie Miller, they won a division of this last year with Love a Good Story. And as we mentioned on the pregame show, Julie's sitting on a little bit of a milestone. She will soon surpass the 2,000 win plateau. I think she's about 14 short entering the card today. Pub Crawl saw her very first baby race. She's been good ever since.
Yeah, she really has, and really just got used hard there. Things just did not work out last time in that Kentuckiana Stake where she did hook up with Iteration. But prior to that, you see her stakes credentials, talented filly. She's been close throughout most of her career here for the top trotting connections of Team Orange Crush.
Number 6, Avenir for the Burke Brigade. They already have a winner on the card, albeit on the pacing side. And it looks like they've been tinkering with her equipment, trotting hobbles on, off, but she keeps making breaks.
Just hard to trust, Dave. We know she's got ability. We've seen that. But she's raced 6 times. She's made a break in stride 5 of those 6. The only start, coincidentally enough, that she stayed trotting the very first start of her career over track that was well off there at the Meadowlands one night. Since that point, she's made breaks in all 5 starts. No, at times she's gotten back and still finished well, but just hard to trust there. I think just 7 to 1. I thought maybe we get a bit better than the morning line at Avenir. Not the case at the moment. Although I will say, Dave, as you know, sometimes we see these horses that do have whatever issues, they really excel over the red clay here in Lexington. So we'll see if that could be the case here for a tricky filly at Avenir.
3, Lindy's Dollywood, and 5, Beltassima hooked up in an overnight here a couple of weeks ago. Lindy's Dollywood did a lot of the dirty work setting things up for Beltassima. Do I have that correct?
You do have that correct. And Lindy's Dollywood was basically a 2-move there. She left the gate, as did Beltassima. Then she provided the cover for Beltassima. So she was a beaten favorite, but still pretty solid effort. If the trips were reversed, you could have seen the opposite result. I just don't think there's much separating those two fillies. Not much separating them on the board right now as well. Both of there is pretty big long shots, better than 20 to 1.
Still always nice to see Jan Janssen, trainer of Beltassima, in the winner's circle here at the Red Mile. He looks forward to coming just like you and I do each and every year. We've got a field of 7 2-year-old trotting fillies getting ready to go to the gate. This Bluegrass Series division for a purse of $87,000.
The Dream Foundation starting gate moving into position. It's post time for this afternoon's 5th race. Starter call. Freshman trotting fillies lined up, second division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial Bluegrass Series, a field of 7. They are on gain. And they are off. There goes Flawless Country out quickly from the center of the track, off stride with Avadir at the beginning. Avadir's made a break in stride as Flawless Country darts right to the top past Iteration. As they move into that opening turn, easy pass. Pressing on there on the outside for McDonald with Pub Crawl. Out trotting in fourth. Lindy's Dollywood is next in line fifth in front of Beltassaba. And back trotting, but trailing is Avadir, who is now off stride once more. Around the opening turn, the quarter up 28 seconds flat, and the long shot easy pass has taken over the lead from Flawless Country as they straight away across the backstretch. Iteration is still content to trot in third at this point for Sears. Pub Crawl remains the fourth spot. Lindy's Dollywood is next in front of Beltassaba, and it's about 15 further back to another break in stride by Avadir. They move across the backstretch. Easy pass. Continues to carry that speed. She maintains a 2-length margin as they trot past the half here in 56 and 1, 28 and 1 in the second quarter. Flawless Country, the favorite, continues to hold down second in front of a patient Iteration. Lindy's Dollywood underway uncovered on the outside. She is fourth. Beltassaba. Track set move up fifth, currently 5 off the top, next door to Pub Crawl, and it's far back still to Avadir as the fillies work midway around the far turn. Easy pass maintains a short lead. Flawless Country up and out of the pocket now for Svanstead. Iteration tightening back in down at the inside third. They're past three quarters, 124 and 3. Easy pass clings to a short lead. Flawless Country looks to roll by late. Iteration needs a place to race. She looks to thread through in tight traffic. Far outside, that's Beltassaba. Pub Crawl slips through late down at the inside. Deep stretch, Flawless Country a short lead. Pub Crawl's up the inside. Iteration finally gets clearance. Pub Crawl up the cones. It's Pub Crawl here to upset it 15 to 1. Flawless Country was second, Iteration third, Easy Pass fourth, 153 and 4. Judges have posted the one Pub Crawl. 15 to 1 upsetter. Third longest shot on the board here in the fifth race. Second to the 4 Flawless Country. Third of the 2 Iteration, and fourth the number 7 Easy Pass. 1-4-2-7 at official in the fifth. Fifth race results are official. Returning track side. After taking the second division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial, this is a Pub Crawl. Julie Miller, the trader. Andy Miller aboard for the wedding effort this afternoon for the Andy Miller Stable of New Jersey. Lewis Willinger of Louisville, Capodillo singing the legendary Standardbred Farm of New York. Pub Crawl, a 2-year-old bay filly. She's by Bar Hopping from the Lindy Lane mare Myth. Bred by the Fairwinds Farm of New Jersey and Steve Jones of New York. 4th career win for Pub Crawl. Career best clocking this afternoon, 153 and 4. Prices up for the 5th race. Pub Crawl, 32.80. 840 and 340. Second of the 4, Flawless Country, 260 at 210. Third of the 2, Iteration at 240. The Exacta, $122.60. $1 trifecta, $186.20. 20-cent superfecta, $131.62. At the early pick 3, combination of 1, 1, 1. Returns $143.80. Official rundown for the 5th race. Pub Crawl the winner, 2 Iteration 3rd. 3 Lindy's Dollywood 6th. 4 Flawless Country 2nd. Number 5 Beltassima 5th. 6 Avenir was 7th. And number 7 Easy Pass 4th. Rechecking time down 136.257. 4 on the bottom. Pub Crawl 153 and 4. At this time, we will send it downstairs. 2 of our favorites. Dave Brower standing by with Maura Fanning from the Hambletonian Society.
Thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt. We are in the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle, and we've got a very special guest to talk to today. It's Maura Fanning, of course, Director of Operations and Publicity Director for the Hambletonian Society. We know she's one of the busiest people in the sport around this time of year as we get ready for the Breeders' Crown a couple of weeks from now. But Hoosier, you just made the presentation in the Winner's Circle, and that has special meaning for you.
Yes, Norman Woolworth was a very special man, loved racing, loved the Red Mile. Was a privilege to know him, and I know the people in Sweden, Margareta and Peter Gary, Abby Gary, that can't be here. Everybody that can't be here, it really hurts not to come to the Red Mile. It's a favorite place to come.
I know. Everybody, hopefully they're tuned in and watching at home. Now, when I talk about back and forth to Indiana and Hoosier Park and preparations for the Breeders' Crown, how much work goes into all of that?
Well, Hoosier Park is a wonderful host for the Breeders' Crown. They don't do anything halfway. So in February, we started with very extensive meetings and planning meetings, and their goal was to top the event that they held in 2017. And then, of course, there was a pandemic and everything ground to a halt. Like most companies, they could only come back partially until about July. But things have resumed, and although they cannot do the extent of the event that they had hoped to do, I guarantee you they'll do a superb job. We have events planned all week long. 2-year-olds racing Friday, October 30th. 3-year-olds in open events Saturday, October 31st. And there can be people in attendance much like here, so I urge anybody who wants to come, get online and get on that waiting list, because we are having a Breeders' Crown.
Okay, one thing we are very much looking forward to is coming up Tuesday night at the Fasig-Tipton sales grounds here. It's sponsored by the Liebfeld Cats Breeding Partnership. It's the Breeders' Crown Charity Challenge, Breedings for a Cause, 6:45, and you get the opportunity to bid on some of these incredible stallion shares.
Yeah, well, this is the second year that Liebfeld Cats Breeding Partnership has been a presenting sponsor of the Breeders' Crown, and it was very important to them to come up with a way to involve the communities and the horse community in charitable giving. Last year was a bang-up success of over $280,000 raised. The breeders who donated stallion shares, the people who gave up, something really of value to benefit these charities, we're very, very grateful for that. And on Tuesday, 6:45, I do have to mention cocktails,
yes,
because I am Maura Fanning. So that starts at 5:30. And we have lots of the special edition champagne to sample. But at 6:45, there's 6 breedings for 2021 to be auctioned off. including one to Tall Dark Stranger, which is really a special one, as well as the Indiana Sires Swan for All and J.K. End of an Era. And Father Patrick, Breeders' Crown champion Amigo Volo, very exciting sire. And the first crop of Walners that is selling this year, they look spectacular. So if you got a mare and you don't know how to get into these syndicates, or you can't, this is a great shot to do it. Green Shoe is another one that, going to be one of the most hotly contested syndicates to get in there. So at 6:45, you can phone bid. You can call me and I'll represent you. You can be at the sale and do it. Last year it went very well. As I said, our charities are still sending us thank you notes and proof of what they did with the money, how it enriched their charities. And some are industry related, but most were not. And that made a long-standing relationship with the community that we hope we continue going forward.
And for more information, of course, you can visit LexingtonSelected.com. Like you said, you can bid online. You can show up and join us for a nice cocktail hour and then a very good, lively bidding. So we thank all the syndicates that were involved for that, especially to Crawford Farms, Marvin Katz, Caviar Farms, and Howard Taylor for that Tall Dark Stranger breeding.
Absolutely.
Everybody should show up for this.
Absolutely. And we'll say hi to Marvin, too. He really wants to be here as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Moira Fanning, Director of Operations and Publicity Director for the Hambletonian Society, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Our passion and our promise to breed the best and sell the best so you can race the best. Crawford Farms, home to this year's 2020 Hambletonian Filly champion Ramona Hill.
Andrew McCarthy 5 today. Ramona Hill takes the Hambletonian.
And over 100 more stakes-winning broodmares, racehorses, and retirees. They call it the Sport of Kings. We call it the love of champions. From our farm to the winner's circle, share our passion. Crawford Farms.
Bow River, the leading designer of unique equestrian jewelry, presents their 2020 collection. Come view our collection under the grandstand at the Red Mile Racetrack during Grand Circuit Meet or in the foyer of the restaurant at Fasig-Tipton throughout the sale. Ask us about creating a custom design for yourself. We pride ourselves on superior craftsmanship that is unsurpassed by no one. Bow River Jewelry, quality you can trust.
Pacers on the track for this afternoon's sixth race. It's a rock and roll dance sponsored by the Meadowlands Racetrack. What is Faraday Hanover? Pete Foldy trains. Andy McCarthy drives for the Lisi Lynn Foldy. Number 2, Panthers Pido. Tony Alagna trains. Joe Bongiorno in the bank for the Empty Pocket Stables and Vicky Howard. 3, WFE or Eddie Polding the treader. He co-owns with Jeff Materni. Yadik Chingra. 4 is Real Rockin' Ravi. Brett Schwartz trains. Dave Miller aboard for Steven Sexton. 5 is Grant 23. Jamal Denson, the Treaderman driver for Tommy Lee Grant. Number 6, Dial 'em Up. Millard Adams owns and trains. Dexter Dunn. The 7, Velocity Ian. Mark Evers, the Treader driver for the Velocity Standardbreds. At 8, Time is of the essence. John Ackley trains for the CT Stables. Tim Tetrick is at the controls. That's your feel for the 6th race. No changes here. Payoff leg of the Big 5. They'll go to the post in just a few minutes for the 6th.
Thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt. Now, while I was doing that interview, you probably were peering over the will pays on that pick 5. We did have a nice long shot there in the 5th race with Pub Crawl. So how juicy are they?
Well, I should have been peering over the will pays in the pick 5. I actually missed those will pays, Dave. I was dialed into your interview as well. We did start with a bit of a long shot, too, as well, Presto. So you have a couple of big favorites and a couple of long shots there. So we will have to take a look at what we get back here at the pick 5.
All right. Sorry for putting you on the spot there. Race 6, we are back on the pace here, an overnight event for non-winners of 1. Interesting mix of horses here. We've even got a 2-year-old filly starting from the Rail Faraday Hanover. She was a big-ticket yearling, but your man Pete Foley, I guess, just took over. He and his wife Lynn are the lessees of this daughter of Sun Beach somewhere.
Yeah, I believe I could be wrong here, but I think Pete actually broke this filly, trained her down, and then sent her up to the East Coast with all that's going on. He happened to stay here in the state this year, so I believe I'm right on that. So, yeah, he does retake over the training duties here, and as you said, well-bred daughter of Sun Beach somewhere. Got used pretty hard there last time at Philly. She still held okay. You would have to think stretching back out of the big track, we could see a bit of improvement for her, but long shot status right now, Dave, she is 30-1.
On the screen right now is Joe Bongiorno behind number 2, Panthers Pino. Why is he 4-5?
Good question. That was a very good qualifier, but this is a horse that we've only seen 3 times in his career, and those were all at the age of 2. So we haven't seen this guy as a sophomore whatsoever. We saw him make a break down at Sunshine Meadows way back in May. Qualifier was good locally. That was a nice mare that he qualified in behind a C Swift Joy. We know her 25 and change home, but this guy has made breaks at many, many times. Looks like Trader Tony Anani has taken over for the 3-year-old campaign. He was with Trader Melanie Wren last year at the age of 2. 4-5, just awfully short. I don't mind a swing on the 2 Panthers, Pino, as a bit of a wild card here, but not at an odds-on price.
I guess a lot of people saw that qualifier and were impressed with the 25-3 sprint home. The 3 is my pick, WFE Orr. Going to inherit Yannick Gingras on the bike for trainer and co-owner Eddie Poling here. Really loved that race up at Delaware, and I'm anxious to see if this one will stretch out here on the mile track.
Yeah, and those were good efforts there in Ohio of late. Really like that second tier start last time. They're just missing. He's been ultra consistent all season, Dave. It's more than 15 of 21. I think that he could be poised for a nice effort here this afternoon as well. We saw him a couple of times up at Scioto over the course of the summer. He was on that second tier, Buckeye Stallion Series. So at this type of level, definitely merits some attention.
Hall of Fame driver Dave Miller had a choice of 3 in here. He chose number 4, Real Rockin' Ravi. She lost a dirty nose in that Ohio Breeders' Championship. That was a good stretch slugfest with Pen Paper Page.
It was a great stretch slugfest, and Pen Paper Page is the Ohio Sire Stakes champion. She won the $300,000 final there, followed it up with that win at Delaware. But Real Rockin' Ravi made it extremely close there in a tight finish. I thought that was a giant effort. For my money, I thought that was the best effort of her entire career. So Real Rockin' Ravi now continues to step forward here, stretching back out of the big track today. She seems to be very good over those last 2 tries.
Another one of the 2-year-olds is on your screen right now. There's Dexter Dunn, the Double D behind Dial Him Up, back in the Millard Adams barn. Tell me what you saw several weeks ago in his first start here at Lexington.
Yeah, I thought really he could have won that event. He did take over the lead at the top of the stretch. Brassy Britches ended up sneaking through some traffic and rolled through from far back to Wedded. I don't want to be too hard on him, but now he has missed nearly a month, so we'll see what we get from him there. But he was solid. He was solid. That type of effort should put him close here in the mix again.
Little Birdie told me that we should watch for Mark Evers here on number 7, Velocity Ian. That's a heck of a speed try last time, but maybe not if you bet on him at even money.
No, it wasn't an overly tough crew. I didn't think there was the winner there pretty solid. Otherwise, that's why you see him bet down to even money last out. Just okay. I didn't see enough to jump on board today, but I will say 17-1 does seem like a monster price. He's right back at that same level. So even money last time, now 17-1 today. Is this 2-day? Panthers Pino continues to take a ton a ton of tote action here to sophomore debut.
Yep, 4 to 5 odds on as it stands right now with about just a minute to post here. An overnight race here, race number 6. Remember, the guaranteed pick 4 will start in the next event with race 7. Get those tickets ready. It's guaranteed at $10,000.
Dream Foundation starting game of again to position. It is post time at this afternoon's 6th race. Starter call. Pacers lined up the Rock and Roll Dance. Rock and Roll Dance, the first pacer in harness racing history to win 3 consecutive sub-48 wins. Double billionaire stands at the Diamond Creek Farm of Pennsylvania. Often pacing in the 6th. There goes Real Rockin' Robbie. Out quickly from the center, Dial Hill up. Also left the gate alertly. WF Eeyore looking for position in the opening turn, as is Panthers Pedo. As they rolled into the Tattersall's turn there, WFER looking to work clear of Panthers Pedo, who's under a tight rein in second now for Bongiorno. Real Rockin' Robbie out giving chase at third. Dialed him up is a 4th. Faraday Hanover following in a 5th. As they move past the opening quarter here, moderate, just 28-3. Time is of the essence. Follows in the 6th spot under a very tight rein there from Tiedrick. Grand 23 is next at the back. Velocity Ian. It's Panthers Pedos just winging up top. He took back of the lead for Bongiorno. Racing a bit greenly there on the backstretch. He has drifted wide. Panthers Pedo at 2-1. 2.5 lengths clear of WF Eeyore as they race up to the half-mile mark at 56-1. 27-3. The tempo quickened in the second stanza. Panthers Pedo at a sophomore debut. He carries that speed onto the far turn. He's now throttled out to a 4-length lead from WFE, or with 3/8 to pace. Real Rockin' Robbie there at the inside third in front of Dial Him Up. Faraday Hanover still following from a 5th. Velocity at his saving ground 6th. Past time is of the essence. Top of the stretch, Panthers Pedo still the target. Past 3/4, 124-1. Real Rockin' Robbie now angles up at the outside for Miller. WF Eeyore shoots through late dead at the inside. Panthers Pedo is giving way. Real Rockin' Robbie is taken over with a short lead. WF Eeyore battles on through down at the inside. It's WF Eeyore's taken over with a short lead from Real Rockin' Robbie. Faraday Hanover third. WF Eeyore saved all the ground to win it. Real Rockin' Robbie was second. Faraday Hanover third. Velocity Ian fourth, and 152-2. Judges have posted the 3 WFE or 7-2. On top here in the 6th race, second at the 4 Real Rock and Ravi, third at the 1 Faraday Hanover, and fourth at number 7 Velocity and 3-4-1-7 at Official in the 6th. Returning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm winner's presentation. This is WF Eeyore. Eddie Polding, the trader. He co-owns with Jeff Materney, both of Ohio. Eddie of Lebanon, Jeff of Mason. Yadik Gingras picks up his second one of this afternoon's program. WF Eeyore, 3-year-old gelded son of Rocket Amadeus from the Blissful Hall mare, Blissful Dreamer, bred by the Wilker Family Farms of Ohio. 5th one overall for WFE or 152-2, a lifetime best ever today. Sean Glingwati making the trophy presentation on behalf of a rock and roll dance. Namesake of the 6th race. It's sponsored by the Meadowlands Racetrack. Nick Salvi somewhere around on behalf of the Meadowlands Racetrack as well. WFE or again a career best effort, 152-2. Your 6th race results are official. Prices up for the 6th race. WFE or 940, 320, and 240. Second to the 4 Real Rock and Ravi, 220, 210. Third to the 1 Faraday Hanover, 340. Exacta was $13.40. $1 trifecta, $42 and a dime. 20-cent superfecta, $29.74. 3 of the best words in the English language. Pick 5 carryover. No one had to pick 5 today. $5,710. Again, over $5,700. Heading into a pick 5 carryover tomorrow afternoon, beginning on race 2. Official rundowns of the 6th race. Faraday Hanover 3rd, number 2 Panther Speedo 5th, 3 WFE or the race winner, 4 Real Rock and Ravi 2nd, 5 Grand 23 7th. Number 6 Dialed Up 6th, 7 Velocity in 4th, 8 Time is of the Essence 8th. Rechecking 351, 276, 4 8 on the bottom. WFE or 152-2. 7th race up next. It is the 3rd division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial Bluegrass Series. 2-year-old filly trotters. Driver change at number 2, Fanciful Invention to Tim Tetrick. Tim Tetrick drives 2, Fanciful Invention. That is the only change in the 7th race. That is the only change in the pick 4 with the $10,000 guaranteed pool. Pick 4 is up next. Kicks off with race 7 in 9 minutes. Pacers lined up the Rock and Roll Dance. Rock and Roll Dance, the first pacer in harness racing history to win 3 consecutive sub-48 wins. Double billionaire stands at the Diamond Creek Farm of Pennsylvania. Often pacing in the 6th. There goes Real Rock and Ravi. Out quickly from the center. Dial him up. Also left the gate alertly. WFE or looking for position in the opening turn, as is Panthers Pedo. As they rolled into the Tattersall's turn there. WFER looking to work clear of Panthers Pedo, who's under a tight rein in second now for Bonjordo. Real Rock and Ravi out giving chase at 3rd. Dialed them up is a 4th. Faraday Hanover followed again a 5th. As they move past the opening quarter here, moderate, just 28-3. Time is of the essence. Follows in the 6th spot under a very tight rein there from Tetrick. Grand 23 is next at the back. Velocity Ian. It's Panthers Pedos just winging up top. He took back of the lead for Bonjordo. Racing a bit greenly there on the backstretch. He has drifted wide. Panthers Pito at 2-1. 2.5 lengths clear of WF Eeyore as they race up to the half-mile mark in 56-1. 27-3. The tempo quickened in the second stanza. Panthers Pito at a sophomore debut. He carries that speed onto the far turn. He's now throttled out to a 4-length lead from WF Eeyore with 3/8 to pace. Real Rockin' Robbie there at the inside third in front of Dial Him Up. Faraday Hanover still following from a fifth. Velocity at his saving ground sixth. Past time is of the essence. Top of the stretch, Panthers Pito still the target. Past 3/4, 124-1. Real Rockin' Ravi now angles up at the outside for Miller. WF Eeyore shoots through late dead at the inside. Panthers Pito is giving way. Real Rockin' Ravi is taken over with a short lead. WF Eeyore battles on through down at the inside. It's WF Eeyore's taken over with a short lead from Real Rockin' Ravi. Faraday Hanover third. WF Eeyore saved all the ground to win it. Real Rockin'.
Deo Volente Farms, one of North America's premium breeding facilities. Their stallion lineup features Hambletonian champion Trixton, global pacing sensation Lazarus, and 3-time world record holder and Kentucky Futurity champion Six Pack.
In the Kentucky Futurity, he will win it 149-1, a world record for Six Pack.
Deo Volente Farms' outstanding broodmare portfolio includes 2-time pacing filly of the year, Worldly Beauty, multi-millionaire Rocklamation Dam of 2019 Pennsylvania Sire Stakes winner, Rocknificent.
Through, it's Rocklamation getting up. Rocklamation, a hat trick for Gingras.
And Breeders' Crown champion, Brigham Dream Dam of 2019 Swedish Sprint champion, Taekwon Deo. Deo Volente Farms Premium Breeding Farm and Syndicate Management in Flemington, New Jersey.
The wait is over. The betting lines have made their much-anticipated racing debut, and the early results are phenomenal. As of July 15th, Betting Line has had an amazing 78 starters from 119 foals, including Dean B. Hanover.
A half a length of the stretch, the best. Dean B. Hanover.
A Buck a Bet Hanover, Folsom, and Letter Buck. Bettor's Delight's clear successor, Betting Line, standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.
Harness racing comes alive at the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York. Visit our world-class museum and see the local connections to Messenger and Hambletonian. Come see our newest exhibit, the Greyhound Gallery. Stroll through our beautiful facility. Ride our 3D simulator. Hold your next event or party in Houghton Hall, a popular horse-oriented destination. Check out Harness Racing's Hall of Fame. Less than a 1-hour drive from Yonkers or the Meadowlands in Goshen, New York. The Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame.
Two-year-old trotting fillies on the track for this afternoon's 7th race, 3rd division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial Bluegrass Series. $87,000 a purse. Kicks off the pick 4 this afternoon with the $10,000 guaranteed pool. One is Frankly, My Dear. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Knox Services, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purnell Libby, Weaver Brushibby, Matt Kikati drives. Number 2 is Fanciful Invention. Chris Beaver trains, and he co-owns with James Gallagher. Marion Beachy, Stephen Z. Handler, make the driver Tim Tetrick. 3, Hello, I Love You. Tony Alanya trains for Alanya Racing. Eric and Lisa Cherry's Let It Ride Stables, the Empty Pocket Stables, and Marvin Katz, Joe Bongiorno. 4, Aunt Irene, Nancy Tactor trains for Christina Tactor and Solveig's Breeders, Dexter Dunn. The 5, Contested Hanover, George Ducharme trains for the FTM Racing Stable, Scott Zeron. Number 6, Beautiful Game, Nifty Norman trains. Dave Miller is in the bike for Melvin Hartman. Dave McDuffie in the NZ Racing Stable. And 7 is Sweeping Rainbow. Joe Holloway trains. Andy McCarthy aboard for the Valley Ore Farms and Ted Gewirtz. That is the field for the 7th race. Get the kicks off your pick 4. A $10,000 guaranteed pool in this afternoon's 15% takeout pick 4. The only change in the sequence comes right here in the 7th race. And number 2, Fanciful Invention. Make the driver Tim Tetrick.
We go back to stakes action here with race number 7 here at the Red Mile today. The 2-year-old trotting fillies here in this division of the Bluegrass for $87,000. Big favorite up on the board, Gabe. Let's talk about her right away. Aunt Irene with that amazing pedigree out of the great Solveig, and she is the daughter of Trixton.
Yes, daughter of Trixton, Aunt Irene, that picked up the first career win. Just a handy score last out there at the Big M Day. That was very impressive. She had made breaks in stride at her first 2 career tries, but obviously seems to be finally heading on the right track right now. While we have just a second, Dave, do want to pass along before I forget. I may have missed those pick 5 paths for good reason, because no one had the pick 5. We've got a carryover into tomorrow, 5,700 and change. We've added a $20,000 guarantee to tomorrow afternoon's pick 5, so that will make that a must play here tomorrow with that 5,700 change carryover and the $20,000 guarantee.
Thank you very much for that information. We always want to get that out and as well in advance as possible. It'll have everybody grabbing those programs on their way out the door. Aunt Irene, one thing I wanted to point about her last win at the Meadowlands, Dexter Dunn really got along with her pretty well, and she just inhaled the field. I mean, when he asked her to trot the final 8th, he was measuring it off almost the whole way home. She's a little inexperienced. I see that. She's only had 3 starts. That's the least of anybody in this field here. But Nancy Tactor isn't going to rush this one. I promise you that.
Yeah, and then even if he's very patient with her again today, again, we've talked about it before, the way the track typically plays here in Lexington. I think that could suit Aunt Irene. She packs that powerful pedigree, as you mentioned. So lots of upside potential, Dave, on Aunt Irene. Unfortunately, one of those not the price. Just a 1 to 5 right now on the board here. The big favorite, Aunt Irene.
There's your pick, number 6, Beautiful Game here, who will inherit the services of Dave Miller as Dexter Dunn made his choice to stick with Aunt Irene here. That's a strong try in the Kentucky Sire Stakes final. She was in position there. Did she have any traffic trouble behind those the top couple?
No, I think she actually had clearance just second best today's Lady Chaos. So went to right on past for whatever reason. We saw Lady Chaos didn't really fire with her best shot earlier. Not sure what the case was there. We do get Dave Miller back in the bike here today. Beautiful Game. That was a good try, Dave. The prior start, a good try as well. She was first up there against Darlene Hanover. Lived to tell about it. That was a good runner-up effort. Tactical speed. She's versatile. A daughter of Muscle Hill here. She's hit the board 7 of 8, so we know she's got talent. Just going to take a swing here to try and knock off a big favorite. 5 to 1 right now on Beautiful Game.
Does it bother you that she shows 5 second-place finishes from her 8 lifetime starts?
I think it's just a matter of what she's been facing. And when I look up and down those lines, I'm not ready to sign off on her just liking to finish close and not win at this point, because I see Lady Chaos. I see Darlene Hanover. I just see some very good names up and down those lines. Presto already a stakes winner earlier today. So, no, it doesn't bother me, at least at this point. We'll see throughout her career if that's a trend that continues, but I think it's just been a matter of who she's been in against.
Well, one thing's for sure. We know trainer Nifty Norman has a special way with the ladies, especially the young trotting fillies. Little consideration here to number 3, Hello, I Love You. Joe Bongiorno is going to pick up the drive since Scott Zeron chose the 5 contested Hanover. Awfully consistent here, but just one win.
Yeah, just one win. I like the way she finished in that last kindergarten mile there, Dave, 27 to change home. The prior start, she found herself on the lead. That was the race where Aunt Irene, the big favorite here, just blew past late. So, Hello, I Love You. I think if she's patient here, tracks early, I think her closing type style there, she gets to maybe use that late kick here with one move, could benefit over the red clay as well. So I give her a puncher's chance to be close.
And, of course, trainer Tony Alagna won one of these divisions last year with the great Ramona Hill, and we see what she turned into. We'll see if Hello, I Love You can get another big piece of the pie. The 5, Scott Zeron's Choice, contested Hanover here. Again, trainer George Ducharme only brought a couple of horses here to the Red Mile this year. I think the number was 6. We read that in the Harness Racing Weekend Preview, sponsored by Horseman and Fair World, harnessracing.com. And also, don't forget to check out Gordon Waterstone's column every morning, The Backstretch Buzz with Gordon, right around 11 a.m. is when he posts that up. But contested Hanover, she needed a little bit of confidence last time here, and I think she got it.
Easier win than it looks on paper as well, Dave. That was a very confident type win from contested Hanover, and as you mentioned, maybe a boost of confidence that she needed. She does take a step right back to the top shelf today, though, against a good group of stakes fillies.
Want to ask you about one more, and it's a guy that I always pay attention to when he ships anywhere. That's trainer Chris Beaver. Lots of great trotters in his past. Fanciful invention. Looks like it's been a work in progress, but he's going to get the Bionic Man to steer today.
You know, he does, and that was a big favorite, I think, that beat him at Delaware. If I'm not mistaken, that filly, Katie's Lucky Day, a short price there, Dave. This filly had post 8. You know, that is never an easy assignment at Delaware, as you're well aware of. She rallied and picked up a lot of those rivals in the late stages, ended up as a runner-up. Thought it was a good effort. A daughter of Triumphant Caviar. She's been pretty solid on the Ohio company, but a major step up today. I think she really would have to step up her game quite a bit to hang with the top fillies here.
Understood. Now, if you were playing the pick 4, and God knows you might have already done that, would you single Aunt Irene here, or are you going to take a stab to beat?
And no, in terms of talent, I agree with the assessment of 1 to 2, but the filly that's shown 3 starts, break in stride in 2 of those, you know, I'm not going to come with a confident single at a short price. So this is a filly that perhaps if you try and beat and you could deliver, the pick 4 could be chasing a pretty good payday. So I would probably take a swing against, even knowing that you are swinging uphill trying to beat her in this spot today.
All right, $10,000 is guaranteed in the pool with that very low 15% takeout. I think we had 11-2 in the pool yesterday, and it paid a very healthy price. So good luck, folks, with your pick 4 bets. 2-year-old trotting fillies coming up in this division of the Bluegrass.
The starting gate, the Dream Foundation starting gate has moved into position. It's post time. The Big Four. Starter calls. It's the third division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial. Norman Woolworth, breeder and raced many horses over the years, director of the Hambletonian Society for many years, served on the executive committee there, trustee to the Harness Racing Museum Hall of Fame. We honor his memory today with the Norman Woolworth Memorial to kick off the Saturday Pick 4. Field of 7 there on gate. And they're off and trotting. Hello, I love you. Goes out early for Bongiorno. Frankly, my dear, protecting her pylon position down at the inside. This beautiful game is on the move in that opening turn from the far outside. Sweeping Rainbow is also looking to mix it up. Fanciful Invention is out trotting in 5th. Aunt Irene is floating wide. On the outside, 6th for Dunn. At the back, contested ahead of her. It's a contested opening quarter here as they're 3 across the track. Sweeping Rainbow looking to sprint onto the top past the quarter in 28 seconds. She took the worst of it in the opening turn. It's a beautiful game. We'll dive in the second spot. Hello, I love you. There in third. She's 3.5 off the lead right now. Frankly, my dear, trots mid-pack 4th in front of the favorite Aunt Irene, who continues in the 5th spot. Fanciful Invention is 6th and contested ahead of her. Swings wide from the back. They trot up to the half-mile mark. Sweeping Rainbow is there in 56-1. Beautiful game. Well situated right now from a second. Hello, I love you. Still holding down third is Frankly, my dear. Comes underway to the outside for Kakali. Aunt Irene is up on the outside of 5th. Under very patient handling at this point from Dunn. Contested ahead of her follows that move up third over. And Fanciful Invention saves ground at the top of the stretch. Frankly, my dear, turns up the pressure down on Sweeping Rainbow. And they match strides past 3/4, 126. Beautiful game. Looks to work up on the outside. She swings 3 wide now for Miller. Moving up in between fillies, Hello, I Love You will dive through that at the inside for Bongiorno, but it's beautiful game who's taken over from Frankly, my dear. Hello, I Love You. Late trot up the inside. Beautiful gamer, Hello, I Love You. Hello, I Love You up the inside, late for Bongiorno. Hello, I Love You to win. Beautiful game second. Frankly, my dear third. Contested ahead of her 4th, 154-2. Three, 6, 1, 5, and officially in the 7th. Pick 4 just a tick over 10,000 today. It will begin with the 4-1 third choice. Hello, I Love You. Hello, I Love You returns trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. Tony Alanya with his first win of the day. Picked up a pair on opening day action yesterday. Teams up here with Joe Bongiorno with Bike once more. Hello, I Love You, owned by Eric and Lisa Cherry's Leaded Rod Stables of Boca Raton. The Empty Pocket Stables of Pompano Beach. Alanya Racing of New Jersey and Marvin Katz of Ontario. Hello, I Love You, a 2-year-old daughter of Trixton from the Malabar Man-Mare Flirtin' Miss. She was bred by Doc's Farm in Florida. Hello, I Love You picks up the second win of her career. Career best clocking this afternoon, 154-2. Greeting the Winning Connections trackside to make the trophy presentation. The Senate Majority Leader, the state of Kentucky, Damon Thayer, along with his sister Dina Thayer, both trackside to present the trophy to the Winning Connections of Hello, I Love You.
Thayer representing District 17. He took office back in 2003, and he has now risen to the position of Senate Majority Leader. Damon, welcome back to the Red Mile. We're so happy to have you with us today. You were here a couple of weeks ago to present some trophies in the Kentucky Sire Stakes, so you know your way here to race Red Mile Road.
I come here every year for the Sire Stakes. Happy to be back for the Grand Circuit. My hat's off to the Red Mile, the only track in Kentucky allowing spectators. My tip of the hat to them for taking a leadership position on that. Wish other tracks would get the message. I'm glad to see so many fans out here today.
Now, you're also here for a special occasion, so please give the birthday shout out.
This is my sister, my younger sister, Dina, and it was her birthday this week, so we decided to come out the Red Mile to celebrate today.
Now, not everybody knows, but you used to work in the horse racing industry before you went into politics. Well, I remember jobs at Turfway Park and with the Breeders' Cup.
That's right. I moved to Kentucky 28 years ago to work at Turfway. I did that for 7 years and then put in 8 years at the Breeders' Cup. And I've also worked at tracks in Detroit, Cleveland, and at the Maryland Jockey Club.
All right, there is no bigger proponent for all horse racing here in the Commonwealth than you, so we thank you for that. But sometimes it's a struggle, isn't it?
Well, what we have to do is convince legislators who aren't from counties where racetracks are located as to the importance of this industry and remind them that it's 100,000 jobs. It's a huge economic engine, a $3 billion economic impact to the Commonwealth, and it's our signature industry, and we need to make sure that we continue to do everything we can to see growth and to make it stronger.
Please give us your version of the impact of COVID-19 on racing. How hard was it to get racing back underway?
Well, it was a struggle. You know, Keeneland shut down the spring meet, and then the Derby was moved to Labor Day weekend. I certainly hope we never have to see that again. I hope we never see a Preakness in October. But you know, there were some people who didn't really want to open up, and I thought racetracks across the country were proving that they could open up. And so I was happy when Churchill Downs opened back up in late May, not in time for the Derby, of course, but that established the precedent for other tracks to continue racing. And it's important to keep the purses going and making sure that fans have something to bet on, and of course that generates purse money. So it was critical really to get back open again when we did earlier this spring.
But it was you that was instrumental in urging Governor Beshear to pull the trigger.
Well, I tried to use the bully pulpit of being Senate Majority Leader to urge him to back off what I thought were draconian restrictions that kept the racetracks closed longer than they needed to be. When the legislature is out of session, we can't take any action, but sometimes we can jawbone a little bit, and maybe the governor listens. I'm not sure he listens to us very much at all, but in that case he did, and I'm glad that he did.
You're a big advocate of integrity in horse racing, and the legislature just funded an initiative to support that.
That's right. We put $500,000 in the state budget to hire a chief safety officer and more safety stewards at the Racing Commission, and eventually the Racing Commission will hire those folks to bring even more integrity measures to protect the horses, the drivers, the jockeys at the thoroughbred tracks, and make sure that our fans know that when they bet on these horses that it's a clean sport, of the highest integrity, and we want Kentucky to lead the way, and that's why Speaker David Osborne and I were able to convince other legislators to include that money in the budget.
Yes, sir. Here on that. Now, you were also very instrumental in changing some residency rules in the Kentucky Sire Stakes program. How proud are you about the success of the Sire Stakes here in the Commonwealth?
Well, that was a really big deal a few years ago when folks like Kenny Jackson, Bob Brady, and Mark Guilfoyle came to me and said that the breeders' incentive money that was going into the Sire Stakes purses wasn't really working in terms of bringing a bunch of new stallions to Kentucky, and they felt like combining a sires program with a mare residency program would help the program become stronger. And I agreed to it as long as there was a 6-month minimum mare residency program. So you could see it's really exceeded beyond our wildest dreams. You look at the horses that were sired by New Jersey, Pennsylvania sires winning the Kentucky Sire Stakes, but that meant that their mare, their dam, was based here in Kentucky for 6 months. That foal was born here. That mare had to be boarded here for 6 months. That's an economic driver. Each brood mare that is here in Kentucky it's like a factory. And the numbers have just gone from strength to strength, and we see the results at the yearling sales too, with people paying big money for these dual eligible Kentucky babies.
Absolutely. It has helped the industry tremendously, and we thank you for that as well. I want to congratulate you too on an award you just got last month, the Kentucky Chamber MVP Award. Isn't it nice to be recognized for some of the hard work you do?
It is. Usually in this job you just hear a lot of criticism. That's part of the deal. That's what we sign up for. But I've been recognized as a Kentucky Chamber MVP 6 times, and I'm always proud to go to work and go to bat for Kentucky's job creators. We don't have people working and paying taxes and putting money into the economy if we don't have jobs for them to work at, and so I'm proud of that, and I thank you for mentioning that today.
You're welcome, sir. Last question. Tell everybody how much fun it is to spend a day here at the Red Mile.
I love the Red Mile. I've been to a lot of tracks, thoroughbred and standardbred, all over North America. And this place has such history and tradition. I'm proud to bring my family out here today to enjoy an afternoon at the races. They all took a run in the starter's car. And this is a great track. And fans, we need to keep supporting it. I love this old grandstand. I love the people who work here. And we want to continue to see the Red Mile and the harness industry and the circuit here in Kentucky go from strength to strength.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We're glad you're having fun this afternoon, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today with the Norman Woolworth Memorial to kick off the Saturday Pick 4. Field of 7 there on gain. And they're off and trotting. Hello, I love you. Goes out early for Bongiorno. Frankly, my dear. Protecting her pot on position down at the inside is Beautiful Game. Is on the move at that opening turn from the far outside. Sweeping Rainbow is also looking to mix it up. Fanciful Invention is out trotting in 5th. Aunt Irene is floating wide. On the outside, 6th for Dunn. At the back, contested ahead of her. It's a contested opening quarter here as they're 3 across the track. Sweeping Rainbow looking to sprint onto the top past the quarter in 28 seconds. She took the worst of it in the opening turn. Is a Beautiful Game. We'll dive in the second spot. Hello, I love you. There in 3rd. She's 3.5 off the lead right now. Frankly, my dear, trots mid-pack 4th in front of the favorite Aunt Irene, who continues in the 5th spot. Fanciful Invention is 6th and contested ahead of her. Swings wide from the back. They trot up to the half-mile mark. Sweeping Rainbow is there in 56-1. Beautiful Game. Well situated right now from a 2nd. Hello, I love you. Still holding down 3rd is Frankly, my dear. Comes underway to the outside for Kakali. Aunt Irene is up on the outside of 5th. Like a very patient handling at this point from Dunn. Contested ahead of her follows that move up 3rd over. And Fanciful Invention saves ground at the top of the stretch. Frankly, my dear, turns up the pressure down on Sweeping Rainbow. And they match strides past 3/4. 126. Beautiful Game. Looks to work up on the outside. She swings 3 wide now for Miller. Moving up in between fillies, Hello, I Love You. Will dive through that at the inside for Bongiorno, but it's Beautiful Game who's taken over from Frankly, my dear. Hello, I Love You. Late trot up the inside. Beautiful Gamer, Hello, I Love You. Hello, I Love You up the inside. Late for Bongiorno. Hello, I Love You to win. Two-year-old pacing colt in geldings on the track. Second division of the Stay Hungry Bluegrass Series over 120,000 on the line. One is Red Right Hand. Nancy Tactor trains. She co-owns with JAF Racing. Christina Tactor, Joe Spronko, and REW Equine. Andy McCarthy drives. Number 2 is Holland Beach Best. Nancy Tactor trains for the Holland Thoroughbred Farm. Jim Diedrich. 3, Southwind Peter. Mark Harder trains, and he co-owns with Rick Phillips, Brian Sears. 4, Roger Zibbage. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Jerry and Teresa Silva, Perdell and Libby, RAS Racing, Weaver Brushimi, Matt Kakalia. 5, Winter is coming. Tony Alanya trains for the Brittany Farms. Alanya Racing. Aaron Waxman and Riverview Racing, Stephen Head. Dexter Dunn at the controls. Number 6, Stonebridge Reef. Chris Ryder trains, and he co-owns with Craig Henderson. Oompa's Farm and Robert Mandillo, Dave Miller. 7 is Billy Clyde. Ray Schnitger trains, and he co-owns with Dr. John Egloff, Mark McDonald. The 8 Shakespeare. Brett Pelling trains. Todd McCarthy up. For Diamond Creek Racing, the Three Brothers Stables and the Caviar Farms. At the Bernardus Southwind Gendry. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Phil Caldora. Knox Services. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Perdell and Libby. Yadik Jingra is in the bike. That is the field for the 8th race. No changes. We do apologize for missing the prices there in the 7th race. You can find those online. We do want to get you the rundown for the 7th race. 1, Frankly, My Dear, 3rd. Number 2, Fanciful Invention, 6th. 3, Hello, I Love You, the winner. 4, Aunt Irene was 7th. 5, Contested Hanover, 4th. 6, Beautiful Game, 2nd. 7, Sweeping Rainbow, 5th. Rechecking, 3, 6, 1, 7, 4, 2, and 5 on the bottom. Hello, I Love You, victorious in the 7th. 8th race just a few minutes away.
All right, Mr. Pruitt, once again, thanks again to Senator Thayer and his family for joining us today at the Red Mile. We're very proud to host him, and we could tell he was certainly having a lot of fun. Welcome back until we see him next time. On to race 8 here, leg 2 of that pick 4, the Bluegrass Series for the freshman pacing colts and geldings. This division going for a little over $120,000. Last year, the Burke Brigade won a couple of these divisions, including that spectacular performance by Elver Hanover. They're going to try and do it again today. They won earlier with Luz Pearlman, and they've got the headliner in here, Gabe. Let's go right to the outside, Southwind Gendry. I'm a little worried about the post, but I know the gelding has major talent.
He does indeed have major talent, Dave. We said it on the pregame, but watching that race last week, I was not confident really at any point through the stretch that he was going to get up, but this colt found a way to get it done. Home 26-2, up and down there to win at 2-5. He has won every single start. He has stayed pacing. He's lost twice. Both of those losses, he broke stride. Son of Always Be Mickey, part of that talented first crop from Always Be Mickey, our post-parade sponsor here at Lexington Southwind Gendry. It's just going to be a matter of getting him involved, Dave. Yadik Jingra back in the bike here today for trainer Ron Burke. That will be his assignment, but I do think Southwind Gendry is clearly the one to beat.
He looked like he had his mind on business there when he was getting ready to score down. Ears going back and forth. That's always the sign of a happy horse. Trainer Nancy Tactor's got a hammerlock on the inside post here with the 1 Red Right Hand and the 2 Highland Beach's Best here. Both medium long shots. You prefer the chances of number 2. I prefer the chances of number 1. So tell us about Highland Beach's Best.
Well, he won an elimination of the Metro. I think that gives him a lot of credit there. He was overmatched just a touch in the final. Debuts for trainer Nancy Tactor here. So we've seen many step up their game, Dave, when they do move over to that barn. I'm thinking we could see similar here with the 2 Highland Beach's Best.
Number 3, Southwind Peter for Mark Harder, Brian Sears. It just seems like he's really turned the corner since he switched to the bigger size track.
Yes, he was very good at Vernon, winning a New York Sire Stake there 3 starts back. He's been good in both Big M tries of late, but does step up here. Pretty good group of Grand Circuit colts. We'll see a test for class in my mind here on the 3 Southwind Peter.
We just saw the Alanya Armada in the winner's circle there with Hello, I Love You. They have the 5 Winner is Coming, and you've called a bunch of his races. What do you think?
You know, he's a talented colt, set of betting line. His first crop there as well, 2 for 4 already. He started his career 2 for 2. Last out, I really thought he would get there. Almanac ended up nailing him very late, but not a bad effort, but really similar question here. He does step up. maybe to tackle the very toughest task of his career so far, Dave. He was in that second tier, Kentucky Sire Stakes level, the Commonwealth level. This is anything but a second tier level today. So Winter's Coming going to have to step things up here, I think, to compete with some of the top colts today.
On your screen right now is the 7, Billy Clyde for Mark McDonald. He goes to the gate for Ray Schnitker. Got to talk to Ray yesterday. Just a little history on the colt. He's recovering from a foot infection, but Ray kind of winked at me. He said, this guy's got major talent.
I like him a lot at this spot today. In fact, he's my key horse, Dave, in behind the favorite Southwind Gendry. You know, he had missed since July the 2nd, so he hasn't raced in a long time. He looked to have a lot of promise to begin his career. I didn't know what the specific issue was, so I'm glad you updated it on us on that. Love that qualifier there at the Meadowlands. Just a handy qualifier, 52 and change. I give him a good chance here to be very close at a good price as well, 15-1.
Yeah, good story there. A son of Always Be Mickey. Ray co-owns with the master of the Vieux Carré Farms, Dr. John Egloff out of Gettysburg, PA. So this is one of our featured events of the day here. Can't wait to see if Southwind Gendry can overcome this post for the Burke Brigade. That would give them another winner in the Bluegrass for the freshman pacing colts. Good luck, everyone.
Dream Foundation starting eight, moving into position. It's post time for this afternoon's 8th race. Starter call. Second division of the Stay Hungry for the freshman Colton Gelding Pacers. Stay Hungry. His first crop will be selling next fall. The Billionaire Set of Sun Beach Somewhere stands at the Hanover Shoe Farms, Pennsylvania. Field of 9 lined up here for the second division of the Stay Hungry Bluegrass Series. They are on game. And they are off. Shakespeare came out swinging from the outside. Winter is Coming goes sprinting out from the center with Highland Beach's Best. Also on the move in that opening turn, Highland Beach's Best sprints out for the early lead. Winter is Coming will dive in the second spot. Shakespeare way comfortably there in third. The favorite Southwind Gendry found a nice early seat in fourth in front of a Red Right Hand. It's a break of 2 lengths to Southwind Peter. He tracks early from sixth in front of a Rogers Image. Billy Clyde is next at the back Stonebridge Reef as they move through an opening quarter, just 28-2. So a leisurely tempo up top. For the son of Sun Beach Somewhere, it's Highland Beach's Best, who controls the tempo across the backstretch. Now the big favorite, Southwind Gendry, is up and on the move for Gingras. So Southwind Gendry trying to work clear of Highland Beach's Best, who will now release the favorite to the top. Winter is coming back to a third. Shakespeare is fourth. It's a Red Right Hand. Wangle wide from a fifth. Southwind Peter tracks that move up from the sixth spot as they race past the half and 55-4. They move on to the far turn, and it's Southwind Gendry. The favorite, the target with 3/8 to pace. Red right hand turns up the pressure down. On the outside second for McCarthy. Hodden Beach is best. Hangs in behind those at dueling leaders third. Southwind Peter slightly gapping cover. He's up on the outside of fourth. Winter is coming pinned down from a fifth as Billy Clyde moves up third over. They throttle through three quarters. 123 and 4 Southwind Gendry. Sprints 2 lengths clear. Trying to rally back up the inside. That's Hodden Beach's best. Southwind Peter. Late pace down the center. Winter is coming, trying to stay on. Mid-stretch, though, it is Southwind Gendry trying to put away Hodden Beach's best. Southwind Gendry close to home. Southwind Gendry will win again. Hodden Beach's best was second. Shakespeare slid through at the inside to grab third from Southwind Peter. 150 and 2. Judges have posted the 9 Southwind Gendry at officially first in race 8. Second of the 2 Hodden Beach's best. Third of the 8 Shakespeare. Fourth of number 3 Southwind Peter. It's 9-2-8-3 at officially in the 8th. Eighth race results are official. Returning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm. Winner's presentation. This is Southwind Gendry. Ron Burke, the trader for the Burke Racing Stable. In Phil Cadora of Pennsylvania. Knox Services of Ohio. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Purdell and Libby Ald of Florida. Yannick Gingras aboard for the wedding effort here. Southwind Gendry, a Lexington select yearling graduate from last fall. 2-year-old gelding by Always Be Mickey. Part of the first crop from the world champion, Always Be Mickey. At hip 100 in the upcoming Lexington select yearling sale is a sibling to Southwind Gendry. In fact, a Captain Treacherous brother to Southwind Gendry. Hip 100, the upcoming Lexington Select Yearling Sale. Southwind Gendry, son of Always Be Mickey from the Cam's Car Shark Mare Gambler's Passion. 7 of 9 to begin his career. He was bred by the Southwind Farms of New Jersey. Also one of our perennial sponsors here in Lexington. Southwind Gendry 150 and 2. It's a lifetime best effort for the winner. Your prices up for the 8th race. Southwind Gendry, $3, $2.40 and $2.20. Second of the 2 Hot and Beaches Best, $4.80 and $3.60. Third of the 8 Shakespeare, $6.40. Exacta was $12.60. $1 trifecta, $59.60. 20-cent superfecta, $55.04. Official rundown: 1 Red Right Hand was 9th. Number 2 Hot and Beaches Best 2nd. 3 Southwind Peter 4th. 4 Rogers Image 7th. 5 Winter is coming 5th. 6 Stonebridge Reef 8th. 7 Billy Clyde 6th. 8 Shakespeare 3rd. Number 9 Southwind Gendry the winner. Rechecking it top down. It's 9, 2, 4, 7, 5, 8, 6, 3, 1 on the bottom. Southwind Gendry takes race 8. And to learn a little more about Southwind Gendry, we'll sit it downstairs once more. Dave Brower is standing by.
Once again, thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt, in the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle with trainer Ron Burke. Ron, congratulations for the 2nd year in a row now. You've captured multiple divisions of the Bluegrass Series for the freshman pacing Colts. Luz Pearlman went a huge mile earlier today, 1 tick off the track record. But I got a feeling you've got some special words for Southwind Gendry. He somehow survived that really tough roll through the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes system. It's not easy to show up each and every week for a young horse.
Yeah, no, he got to start a little bit late this year, and it maybe actually helped him. He got very sick when he came up from Florida, so we maybe missed 1 sire stake, and he only had 1 qualifier. And he's been actually a pleasant surprise. Training down, we really, just thought he was like middle of the road. And we gelded him because all he wanted to do was fight and not actually race. And since then, he's improved tremendously. And, now I think he is a top colt.
Okay, he proved it today from the outside post there. Yannick Gingras, I guess, inheriting the drive again because Dave Miller's committed to somebody else.
Yeah, no, and it was Yannick's drive to begin with. Yannick went to Canada for us and, too, and, Atlanta, and, we did well up there also. So, Yannick was going to get him back when he got back. David did a great job. He, did a wonderful job teaching him along the way and making him learn to be a racehorse. So, I can't thank David enough, but, Yannick's done well with him also.
Yeah, Dave, of course, the driver of Perfect Sting, and we wouldn't want to have to make that kind of a decision here. Now, give us a little background story here because you plucked Southwind Gendry out of the sale right here in Lexington, but didn't cost all that much, only $30,000. What did you like about him?
That he was not a sports writer. Basically, the mare had 4 foals and had 4 sports writers, and they were all good. And, I was thinking even if always Mickey was the 2nd worst stallion in history, he'd still be better than sports writer. So basically, that's what I liked.
After the International Stallion Series, if you choose to race him next week, Breeders' Crown after that?
Yeah, no, Breeders' Crown, and then that's it for him.
Okay. We've got some of the other winning owner connections here. I see Jerry Silva introduced me to your other partners, and give a shout-out to anybody that might not be here.
That's Jerry, and that's my wife, Diane, and I don't really know who's here or not here. I train horses, not people.
Good stuff. Well, we're happy to have you in the Winner's Circle. We know it's been a busy day for you. And, hey, it's been a good day. Couple winners today. Luz Pearlman, just talk about him for a second earlier, 149-1. I know that was a dream trip, but he still had to perform.
Nah, he was actually our top colt starting out, and then he went through a little run where things didn't go right for him. But I told Maddie and our guys, I said, trained great, warmed up super. Like, he was a sharp horse coming in. I think he'll turn it around. He'll finish the year up strong. He's royally bred, and I have all the faith in him, too.
All right. Well, it's always great to have 2 great freshman pacing colts. Who knows how good they'll be, right?
Yeah, hopefully, though, good enough to push on to next year.
All right. Thanks so much. Ron Burke in the Winner's Circle here, his 2nd tally of the day. Luz Pearlman and now Southwind Gendry with a new lifetime mark of 150-2.
Pressured out. On the outside, 2nd for McCarthy. Hot and Beaches Best hangs in behind those at dueling leaders 3rd. Southwind Peter slightly gapping cover. He's up on the outside of 4th. Winter is coming pinned down from a 5th as Billy Clyde moves up 3rd over. They throttle through 3/4. 123-4. Southwind Gendry sprints 2 lengths clear. Trying to rally back up the inside. That's Hot and Beaches Best. Southwind Peter. Late pace down the center. Winter is coming, trying to stay on. Mid-stretch, though, it is Southwind Gendry trying to put away Hot and Beaches Best. Southwind Gendry close to home. Southwind Gendry will win again.
Lindwood Farm, a premier standard-bred breeding and stallion facility located in scenic western Pennsylvania, just a short drive from the Meadows Racetrack. Established in 1970 by Ann and Logan Dickerson, our facility offers stallion, mare, and foaling services, along with the occasional turnout and rehabilitation. If you're looking to participate in the Pennsylvania Breeders Program, contact us today. Lindwood Farm, setting the standard.
The Breeders' Crown, presented by the Liebfeld Cats Breeding Partnership, is harness racing's richest and most prestigious championship event, with $6 million in purses over 2 nights. Tune in on October 30th and 31st to watch and wager on the 37th edition of the Breeders' Crown. Live from Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. First post is 6 p.m. Eastern Time, both nights. Visit harrahshoosierpark.com for a live stream, a complimentary race program, and more information on ticket availability. The 2020 Breeders' Crown will be a ticketed-only event held in a reduced capacity format. Visit harrahshoosierpark.com for more info.
In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario farms to the world stage.
The world's greatest harness racing returns to Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment on Saturday, September 5th. Live racing at 7:15 every Friday and Saturday through December 26th. Admission and parking are free. The track is also open for simulcasting 7 days a week. Plus, check out our FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can legally watch and wager on all sports action. Visit PlayMeadowlands.com for complete racing and sports wagering information. Must be 21 or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Two-year-old trotting fillies on the track for this afternoon's 9th race into the division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial Bluegrass Series. Purse of $88,000. There are no changes. What is it? Piper Hanover, Tony Alanya trains for the Brittany Farms. Marvin and Lynn Katz at Al Liveville, Joe Bongiorno. Number 2 is Darlene Hanover. Brett Biddle trains for the Yankee Land Partners, Andy McCarthy. 3, Hot as Hill. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Larry Carr, Knox Services. Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purnell and Libby. Dave Miller in the bike. The 4 is Adaka Hanover. Noel Daly trains and he co-owns with the Express Stable at the Caviar Farms. Todd McCarthy drives. 5 is May Carp. Lucas Walden trains. Dexter Dunn aboard for the Cher May Stables. Next in the post parade is the 6 Bella Bellini. Nifty Norman trains. Mark McDonald up for Dave McDuffie. 7 is Keystone Barracuda. Charlie Norris trains and drives for Kerry Norris, G&B Racing, and Max Hempt. At the 8 is Splash. Blue Chip. Oka Svanstedt trains, drives, and he co-owns with Melby Guard Incorporated. That is the field for the 9th race. No changes. In the upcoming 9th race, it is the final division of the afternoon of the Norman Woolworth Memorial. Post time for the 9th race just a few minutes away.
Thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt. Having a lot of fun this afternoon watching these freshmen trotting fillies as they go around the red clay surface here at the historic Red Mile. And you said it, our final division here, race 9 for a purse of $88,000. And I guess you could say one of our marquee performers of the day. It's number 2, Darlene Hanover, for trainer Brett Biddle and the Yankee Land Partners of Maryland. Bred by Hanover Shoe, the daughter of Chapter 7 there. She was on quite a roll and had quite a finish back on Hambletonian Day to win the Jim Daugherty Memorial.
Yeah, you remember, Dave, I loved her that day on Hambletonian Day. She just won a giant trip got it done. Maybe just a little disappointing here last time. She was a 3-5 favorite in that Kentucky Sire Stakes final, but still put in a solid bid there to be fourth. She was aggressively handled. I do think that she lands in the division here that she should rebound and take care of business. 8-5 sounds about right in my mind on the 2 Darlene Hanover.
Brett Biddle, very quietly confident. Got to see him and the filly, who's a little bit tough to be around at times, but Brett has done such a wonderful job of bringing her along. And I don't even know if I was disappointed with her effort that couple of Sundays ago. She was used pretty hard to get to the lead, and it's already almost a confirmed fact that she's much better in attack mode than in, race on the lead mode.
I think that's key. I think you're 100% right there. So with that in mind, as a favorite this spot today, how do you think she'll be raced in this field?
Well, it depends what Dexter Dunn's probably going to do with number 5, May Carp. She's got big-time speed, and it's been a good year with the fillies of the trotting variety for trainer Lucas Wallen. We don't get to see him all that much on the Grand Circuit, but he sports a real good record, and he's got not just May Carp, but a couple other good ones, too.
Yes, he does. And May Carp, she's got that tactical speed. You think she will likely, definitely be blasting out here with Dexter back in the bike. Good runner-up finish there last time in the Liberty Bell at Harris Philly. It crushed the Pennsylvania Consolation. Stretches out here to the big track. She was pretty good at the big track back at the Meadowlands earlier in the summer, Dave. Unfortunately, made a break there in the Jim Daugherty, but she was good prior to that in some overnight action. Also, the Daugherty elimination as well.
She was. There's Darlene Hanover now. A couple little minor equipment adjustments. Nice little smile and laugh from Brett Biddle, so we know that all things are good. You've got a nice little medium-long shot in that second spot. Anoka Hanover for trainer Noel Daly. I think this is his first starter of the week. Daughter of Donato Hanover here. And Todd McCarthy will replace his brother, who was listed to drive Andrew. But Todd did get to know this filly. That was a vicious finish in that division of the Kindergarten Classic.
It was. We talked about that wild finish earlier with all those horses across the track. And this filly, in my mind, Dave, maybe from a class standpoint, a tick better than the 5 May Carp because she competed on the very top levels of the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes circuit. You'll see a very good third in the championship there, good runner-up prior to that. So she has held her own with some very good stakes fillies. I think she could be the value on the board right now up there as the third choice at 4-1.
We can't have one of these 2-year-old trots without talking about Team Svanstedt again. Post God's not kind for number 8 Splash Blue Chip, but I'm going to say this about that New York Sire Stakes final. I think there were 4 or 5 breakers in there. She got off to a very soft half mile, and she wasn't able to hold on. That disappointed me.
I have to be honest, it did me as well. Things really fell into her lap there as she just got to sprint away, and as you said, just so well rated on the lead. She still was close, but I thought she had every opportunity there. So I'm like you in that regard. But post 8 here, she does like to lead the gate. So maybe she gets out of there, gets some position, and parlays it into a close finish late.
And I'll ask you about one more because she happens to be on the screen right now. That's the 6 Bella Bellini with that incredible pedigree, a homebred of Mr. David McDuffie. I hope he's going to come join us for the sale. I didn't see him on the grounds today. He opted in for the first crop of bar hopping, and this filly looks like she's just learning the game.
A little bit of a project horse. I agree there, Dave. Just her 6th career start this afternoon. You've said it already. Nifty Dorman so good with these young trotting fillies. Carter Penske was the bike there for that most recent qualifier. You'll see Mastro was the runner-up finisher that qualifier. We saw him come out and nearly win at his career debut earlier. This filly was just behind Mastro. So Bella Bellini here, a filly that they're looking to get back on the right track. She seemed to be good there in that recent qualifier here locally.
Okay, last question, and it's a shout-out and credit to my partner at the Meadowlands, Mr. Dave Little. Darlene Hanover in this race looks like a 4-5 shot to me, not an 8-5 shot. How do you interpret the odds board now?
Well, if that's the case, and if that's what you believe, then I think you got to fire away. I've seen many 8-5s that I think are overlays as well. I think that's about right for, again, don't want to be too hard on her, but I really thought maybe she could have dug in there in that Kentucky Sire Stakes final. But I think what you said was the key. I think she's just so much better when she has a target, and that could be the case here this afternoon once more.
Good 2-year-old trotting fillies, our final division of this Bluegrass Series. Purse $88,000. They'll be at the gate and ready for the start in just a moment.
The Dream Foundation starting gate has moved into position. It's post time for this afternoon's 9th race. Starter calls. Two-year-old trotting fillies lined up. Final division of the Norman Woolworth Memorial Bluegrass Series. Purse of $88,000. A field of 8. They are on game. And they are off and trotting. There's May Carp from the center of the track. The long shot Keystone Barracuda also fired up early as they trot towards that opening turn with Piper Hediver. Joining that pair down at the inside, it's Keystone Barracuda and Charlie Doris, who sweep on at the top. May Carp floating up on the outside a second as Piper Hediver came out trotting in third. Break of 4 lengths to Darlene Hediver, the favorite. Way in a good order in the 4th spot. Hot as Hill follows 5th in front of Anaka Hediver. It's a break of 3 lengths to Bella Belady, and at the back, Splash Blue Chip. The quarter just 28 and 3, so it's a reasonable tempo as the fillies straighten across the backstretch, and done moves May Carp back to the top. The long shot Keystone Barracuda. She released it is now second as the pace slows in the second quarter. Dunn taps on the brakes with May Carp, who continues to call the shots. Keystone Barracuda tracking from second. Piper Hediver is there in third. The favorite Darlene Hediver is underway now the outside from a 4th. Hot as Hill will swing wide from the 5th spot with Anaka Hediver moving out to the flow 6th. Bella Lady saves ground in front of Splash Blue Chip as they trot past the half in 57 and 2. 28 and 4 in the second quarter. May Carp continues to front the field as they trot midway around the far turn. Darlene Hediver dials up the pressure on the outside from second. Keystone Barracuda tries to hang in down at the inside as Piper Hediver's well spotted here for Bongiorno second over. They trot at the top of the stretch. May Carp past 3/4, 125 and 3. Darlene Hediver tucks back in for a brief brave it up tuck. Piper Hediver is there in third. Anaka Hediver moves down the center late. Deep stretch though, it's May Carp. May Carp maintains the lead. Anaka Hediver continues to rally late down the center. May Carp still there, but the lead diminishing, and Naka Hediver surging up on the far outside for McCarthy, and Naka Hediver up to Wedded. From May Carp, type 4 show was either Hot as Hill or Splash Blue Chip in 154. Turning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. This is the 4 and Naka Hanover. Noel Daly, the trainer, and the co-owner of Chesterfield, New Jersey, along with the LA Express stable of Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, and the Caviar Farms of Vienna, Virginia. Todd McCarthy aboard for the win this afternoon, and Naka Hanover, a 2-year-old daughter of Donato Hanover from the Yankee Glide mare Aunt Mel. Bred by the Hanover Shoe Farms of Pennsylvania. And Naka Hanover wins for the 5th time in her career. It's a lifetime best ever today in 154. Greeting the Uinta Connections trackside to make the trophy presentation, Mario Zuanetti presents the trophy to the Uinta Connections of Naka Hanover. Your 9th race results are official. Naka Hanover returns 720, 520, and 340. Second to the 5 Maycarb, 460, 280. Third to the 3 Hottest Hill, 440. Exacta was $29.20. The $1 trifecta, $69. 20-cent superfecta, $71.58. Run that in for the 9th race. Piper Hanover 5th. Number 2 Darlene Hanover 6th. 3 Hottest Hill 3rd. 4 Naka Hanover the race winner. 5 Maycarb 2nd. Number 6 Bella Bellini 7th. Keystone Barracuda was 8th, and the 8 Splash Blue Chip 4th. Rechecking, it's 5-6-3, 1-2-7, 8 and 4 on the bottom. Naka Hanover 154. And to learn a little more about Naka Hanover, Dave Brower standing by with the winning driver, Todd McCarthy.
Again, thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt from the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle. It's a pleasure to welcome in Todd McCarthy, who has emigrated from his home and joining us in North America here literally just 2 months ago. You got to be having a blast so far, sir.
It's been pretty surreal so far. So to be able to be here on days like this driving, it's something I certainly didn't expect, and I'm just so grateful for.
All right, tell us a little bit about this filly. She's by Donato Hanover. You had a little bit of a game plan to come from off the pace, but the fractions were slow. Were you a little worried there at the back of the pack, third over?
There was a couple got away pretty good early there, and I didn't want to push it too much. But when we settled where we did, I kind of looked like I was going to sort of get a bit of a good trip into it. So I know she's got a lot of trot late, and I was just going to hope that we had enough to get there.
What did you learn from her steering her at the Meadowlands a couple of weeks ago in that division of the Kindergarten Classic? That was a mad scramble finish.
Yeah, well, you know, we sort of ended up a little way back there, and she got home so good. So probably that one drive that I had on to give me a lot of confidence going into that race today, that I knew I could settle in a position there, and it wouldn't matter if I was a couple back, that she'd be getting home good.
Prior to your last steer behind her, it was your brother Andy that had been doing the driving. How did that conversation go when he told you about this filly?
Yeah, he, Andrew's been so good to me since I've been here, and it's been such a leg up for me. He's been able to help me out a lot, and especially with horses like this that he knows a lot about. So, before I even got on her, I felt like I knew her a little bit, and that was a big thanks to Andy.
Are you enjoying your Lexington experience so far?
So far, Lexington, it's been a lot of fun, yeah. So really enjoying it, having an absolute blast here, and loving it.
Now, we've always introduced you as Andrew's younger brother. You tell me, I'm going to put you right on the spot. Who's the better driver?
I like to think that, we got a little bit each to our own there. So, but on paper, I think you definitely got to give it to Andy this year. He's had a hell of a year, and he's driving in unbelievable form.
Well, we had $2 million races in the sport, and he won both of them. So, yeah, I guess that's a good year.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the Winner's Circle here and to Lexington. We look forward to seeing you much more often right here in this spot.
Thank you so much, and a quick thank you to Noel Daly and the connections of this filly. Once again, just really appreciate the opportunity.
Anoka Hanover takes the final bluegrass for the freshman trotting fillies, and she takes a new lifetime mark of 154 flat.
Chip as he trot past the half and 57 and 2, 28 and 4 in the second quarter. May Carp continues to front the field as they trot midway around the far turn. Darlene Hanover Dials up the pressure on the outside from second. Keystone Barracuda tries to hang in down at the inside as Piper Hanover's well spotted here for Bongiorno. Second over. They trot to the top of the stretch. May Carp past 3/4, 125 and 3. Darlene Hanover tucks back in for a brief brave it up tuck. Piper Hanover is there in third. Adaka Hanover moves down the center late. Deep stretch though. It's May Carp. May Carp maintains the lead. Adaka Hanover continues to rally late down the center. May Carp still there, but the lead diminishing, and Naka Hanover surging up on the far outside for McCarthy, and Naka Hanover up to Wedded.
My grandfather instilled in me that there's no such thing as luck. He said luck is where hard work meets opportunity.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
Marlowe Hanover, Hanover. Hanover up in
Green Shoe will win the Kentucky Futurity.
It's all Hanover in 149 and 2.
You're my candy girl, 148 and 2, a stakes and track record.
Hersey Blue Chip for the victory.